Spy Psychology TF2. How to Play Spy by Jontohil2. I've been recommended Psychology of Spy so much.
Hello, hi, yes. Do you want to get better at Spy?
Yeah?
Well, whatever you're here for, welcome to Spy Psychology, where I'm going to do the first episode again to make it a better introduction.
Okay.
Wait, what?
This is a series about learning to get better at Spy and TF2, and this is the introduction.
Dude, I'm so ready for this. I was playing Big Earner on stream recently, and it definitely takes a specific mentality. I actually really love Big Earner. I definitely chicken out. I usually go in for the stab and leave. I use the speed boost. I don't know if I could go kunai. I'm very much a Big Earner fan, though. I think that... So, I don't know. I have a very meme view of the Big Earner, because sure, going down by the 25 makes you one-shot by a lot more. But the meme logic I pose is... if I'm doing a good enough job as a spy, I'm not getting hit anyways. So I've been kind of in on this Big Earner tech, but I also am a huge fan of the Beggar's Bazooka as well as the Back Burner, if that says anything about who I am as a person.
Are you ready?
Yeah?
Then let's begin.
Love the
Let's
mouth
go.
movements.
Spy is hard.
Spy is hard. Spy is arguably the hardest class in the game, since he requires a lot of thought, requires you to evade and outsmart the enemy, and dies incredibly quickly when caught out.
Fair.
I'm telling you this because you should know that getting good at Spy will take a long time, and lots of being killed.
Yeah.
Over, and over, and over, and over, and over,
Yeah.
and over. Come back. Sure, you'll die a lot.
Uh-huh.
But that's just the learning process. Even experienced spies such as myself can die a lot sometimes. But take each death as a learning experience.
I do think that this is the correct way to look at it, though, right? I think that there's a logical fallacy with the quote-unquote get good community. Like obviously back in Inception, right? Dark Souls 2 hard, get good, right? That was kind of what it was meant to be. Just get good, Fivehead, right? But I think there's been a warping of it, especially in FPS spheres, where that means you have to go like Halo perfectionist status. You have to go 20, 25, and 0. And I think that's just like, sure, some people can do that, but I think that that's not really the point, especially since TF2, yes, you're going to have your 1v1s and your 2v2s, but ultimately you are having to either defend the intel as a team, push the payload as a team, take points as a team, right? Like, you know, you are having to team fight in this game. And there are definitely better targets to take out, such as, you know, if you can, as a sniper, take out the medic and you can trade, say you trade, you still took out their medic for the encounter. You took their Uber out of the game. You have to team fight. And I think that there's, unfortunately, a warped view that you have to be this perfectionist, like actual FPS god, when you're going to die in a match. Like, that's just going to happen. Even if you're the world's best spy, I'm sure that you're going to get got a couple times in the match by good enough players, right? But if you're still getting into the fight and you're still making those trades and actually helping your team out, I feel that you're going to be far more valuable than a spy who can say they go 30-0 but be unable to team play, right? If that makes sense.
Try to figure out why you died and use it to learn how to die less. If anyone else tries to talk you down for being bad at Spy or just not as good as them, just know they're stupid. Ego hunters aren't worth listening to and want to make you feel bad. So take my advice, don't listen to them.
Okay.
Alright.
Also, just try avoid becoming like them. Please. You see those frag movies where a spy gets 6 trick stabs in a row? Well, you should know that these kinds of spies have a massive amount of experience, and scenarios like that aren't as common as these videos may make you believe. They're essentially a highlight reel, so don't put that expectation on yourself, or else you'll get frustrated.
I mean, it's the social media effect, right? Like, people show themselves at their best, right? Like, they'll show photos of their wedding, they'll show photos of them going out, having drinks with, you know, their friends, but they're sitting at home playing FIFA and just hating their job and worried about tomorrow, right? Like, social media has the ability for people to present the best of themselves, to curate their own image, and that's what we end up seeing. So I think this is a really good thing to point out.
Because believe me, Spy...
What is that?
Get frustrated.
What is that?
Because
What is this portal looking thing?
believe me, Spy can get frustrating to play.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, enough with Philosopher Jonto. What are the actual basics of his kit?
I mispronounced his name again, didn't I? Mispronounced his name. Jonto. Okay, that's that. Whoops.
The spy has a bunch of tools in his arsenal, and they all serve a purpose.
Yeah, okay.
These are the revolver, sapper, knife, invis watch, and disguise kit.
Note the red tape recorder isn't here.
Let's start off with the thing that will be causing
Actually, I guess it falls under sapper, technically.
the most problems using the knife.
Yeah.
The knife will instantly kill any player when hit from behind, but only 40 damage if it hits from the front.
Sure.
Now, the game defines the back by simply the player's back half. You'll know you can backstab when the spy raises up his knife.
It's the animation.
Like this.
Okay.
But note, you don't need to wait for this animation before backstabbing.
I actually didn't know this. This is actually super useful to know.
It just serves to help you learn the backstab hitbox.
Okay.
You'll start to get a feel for when you can backstab, and you'll often kill before you see the knife raising animation occur.
I actually didn't know about this. I thought you had to wait for the knife to go up. At least on stream, that's what it presented itself as. Because I'm like, oh, clearly I just need to wait for the animation because the animation actually telegraphs when you can do it. But it's like the back burner where like you just have to hit that part of the hitbox. Okay, now it's making more sense.
Now, the knife sounds really cool because it can instantly kill any player. But one problem, if they're looking at you, you kind of can't backstab. Well, actually, you can do trick stabs, such as the metal. Don't listen to that. If you're just starting out as spy, you don't want to bother with that trick stabby stuff yet, okay?
This. Build yourself up from the ground up. We literally talked about this in the pyro weapon stereotype video, where I'm like, the flare gun just reload. I guess it's because of what the flare gun is, because there's there's an interaction there with the flare gun specifically on why you swap it out to reload it. But like, yeah, like it's built. It's because I didn't have the basic building blocks, but and then I'm starting to do like higher technical stuff, right? That you miss the building blocks, and if you don't have a solid foundation, like it's harder to actually learn the class. It's why I actually refuse to use the Dead Ringer right now, because it will make me learn spy incorrectly. So I very specifically am refusing to use the Dead Ringer because I need to learn the basic mechanics of spy rather than the augmented. It's not even really a side grid. Like it's a rework effectively, right? Than using the Dead Ringer to do. Yes, absolutely. The Dead Ringer is still very powerful, but I think that if I was to use the Dead Ringer, I would learn spy incorrectly, and that's the big one.
Just focus on learning the basics. Now, we don't really want the enemy knowing where we are, less so looking at us. So the main thing you'll want to use to get behind the enemy is your invis watch.
Right.
Right-click at any time to cloak, turning you invisible to the enemy team over the course of a second. However, note you can't attack while cloaking or fully cloaked.
I actually didn't know this. There was actually a moment on stream, because we were streaming this on the Purple app. I was literally asked chat, I'm like, chat, why can't I make this work? Because I thought I had seen people in gameplay be able to invis and stab. And literally the response was, no, Kip, that'd be broken if so. I'm like, I thought that was the point of spy. Yeah, I didn't actually know this. So I was trying to backstab people while cloaked. And then, obviously, chat had to explain it, which, thank you, chat. Thank you for bearing with my my stupidity. But yeah, no, this is, yeah. Like, the gameplay of Spy made a lot more sense after this, and the skill ceiling increased knowing that. Because, yeah, it would be a little rough if, Spy could actually, like, backstab you or ambassador you if they were invisible. Like, that's the balancing point. But I didn't know this. This is good information for anybody going into Spy.
Bumping into an enemy player while cloaked will make you blink, meaning you become partially invisible for a split second. So you'll want to avoid bumping into other players.
Right.
The cloak lasts 10 seconds at a full charge, but your cloak can also be restored by picking up ammo.
I hear the Dead Ringer used to be restored by picking up ammo, but I think the nerf made it so it doesn't.
Which even works while you're cloaked. However, be aware that people may notice disappearing health and ammo boxes.
That's a good point.
The two main purposes of your cloak is to sneak past the enemy undetected or escape bad situations. Ideally, you'll want to avoid enemies seeing you coming. Cloak before you round a corner and don't bump into other players. Also, while cloaked, you have a 20% damage reduction and the duration of bleeds and burns are halved.
I actually didn't know this. I didn't know you actually got mitigations while in this. Bro, this is so like this is why I love this kind of content, right? The fact that I can actually learn things because it's an entirely different learning curve. Like I'm super passionate about just like learning random things like this, right? And I'm actually enjoying my time in TF2, right? Sure, yeah, algorithm metrics, right? Like people commenting, engaging with the video, right? Sure, the TF2 videos are doing well, but like I like taking it that next step and actually like learning about this and like actually engaging with this because I didn't know you actually got mitigations while doing this. Like that's wild. I thought it just made you invisible to be able to. The way I understand Spy's gameplay loop is you use your invisibility to get to a certain point, like to the general area of where you need to be, and then you will decloak. Decloaking does create noise, at least on stock. Therefore, the enemy and anyone else around you can hear the decloak. So you want to get to the general area, and you can actually swap disguises while invisible. So ideally, you pick, whatever, right? Like Pyro, Spy, whatever, and you get to the general area, and then you fine tune your movement in your disguise, and like. Understanding the basic principle made the understanding of how Spy operates way easier.
This knowledge can be very useful for getaways. Now, the other stealth tool you have is the disguise kit. Pull it out, pick a class to disguise as, and after a few seconds, you'll appear as that player to the enemy team.
Someone in chat earlier was like, never disguise yourself as Pyro. Jonto literally disguising himself as Pyro. I don't know. I think like Pyro and Soldier are probably two generally safe bets because of the prevalence of Soldier and his popularity. Like the enemy team generally will always have a Soldier, right? You could disguise yourself as a Spy. You could. But I feel like, generally you are wanting to like. So from a generalized standpoint, there are going to be better options, but I feel from an actual like objective standpoint, each match needs to be tailored to what the enemy team is running, especially when the enemy team swaps off, because they could have like, I don't know, you're doing a 12v12, they could have like 3 soldiers, swap off soldiers and go 3 Pyro, and then suddenly like your soldier sticks out like a sore thumb, right? Like it is going to be a reactive game throughout the entire match.
Do note that you take the name of a player on the other team, so players that see a clone of themselves will know you're a spy.
I actually didn't know this. I was curious how that worked.
Everyone says disguises don't fool good players.
Ah, I see. Well...
Bro got Ubered!
So despite what many players say, disguises can fool good players.
Oh, absolutely. No, so here's the thing. It's part of your kit. Use it. Like, why would you forego part of your kit, right? It's like you're playing Call of Duty and you're like, nah, I don't need that grenade slot. What do you mean you don't need a grenade slot? Just throw a sticky. Just throw Semtex at the wall. Like, hello? Like, you have access to it. Throw the flashbang. Like, please? Or like you're playing an MMO and it's like, well, I don't like using this skill. And you're like, that's like a paladin in 14 saying, nah, I don't need this passage of arm stuff. And you're like, hello? One of the best mitigations for stack bust, like stacks in the game? Like, excuse you? It's part of the kit. Use it. Like, sure, I'm sure there's situations in which maybe you wouldn't want to use the disguise kit, but like, it exists and it can fool good players. The point of, like, one of the big points of Spy that I've come to the understanding of is that Spy will capitalize on chaos, right? A lot of moving parts in the back line. You got your enemy sniper doing stuff. You have your heavy moving up to the point. Pyro maybe coming up behind heavy. Maybe your Pyro or heavy is pocketed by a medic, right? There's a lot of moving parts, right? The Spy, at least as I understand playing it, is going to be able to pop on in into the general area, decloak, using disguise, move around like you see with the medic Ubering him, right? Like there's a lot of chaos going on. There's moving parts. The medic is going to look at him and go, you're just a teammate, right? You're capitalizing on the enemy team not having their focus on you. Their focus is elsewhere, and you're capitalizing on that distraction.
You just need to act like the class you're disguised
as,
which you'll get better at with practice. But be aware that the disguise kit is not a tool for getting behind the enemy. The cloak is. Also, be aware that if you disguise right before cloaking, the disguise mode can be seen following you. You can avoid this by starting the cloak before the disguise, as even being partially cloaked will negate the smoke entirely.
I didn't actually know this, but I was doing this out of good practice.
You generally use disguises to avoid sticking out, and don't fool the enemy for more than a couple seconds before
Right.
making your move. The disguise is used to blend in and not get shot by sentry guns.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns, did you know that Spy has a gun?
I don't believe you. I don't think Spy actually has a gun. I only think he has a knife.
You know that scenario I mentioned before about that player looking at you? Did you know that you have a gun, and that you can shoot them with that gun?
Dude, I didn't know this. This is news to me.
The knife is your only weapon. Look. I know it insta-kills, okay? But it has downsides. Using your gun is pretty basic. You point it at the enemy and shoot. It'll typically do more damage than your knife at mid to close range.
I wonder if he's doing it for... He's probably doing it because he's in the firing range. But I wonder if there's a genuine benefit to reloading after every shot or every 2 shots.
You don't have to be in melee range to use it.
Yeah.
Also, since Spy can see the health of enemy players, you can sometimes finish off a hurt player running to a health pack.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense now, actually.
Not using your gun is a mistake I see a lot of Spies make, so be aware of that option. It'll save you a lot. So, good advice to practice your aim sometimes, especially since the first shot is 100% accurate and the rest of
Right.
them have random spread.
I noticed this. I was trying to figure out why my shots weren't hitting because I actually swapped to stock revolver instead of the ambassador because it does feel a little more consistent. But I was really curious why some of my shots weren't hitting. This makes me feel like I'm just going to go back to the ambassador. I'm going to have to go see if there's an Australium ambassador. I don't know. There's Australiums of some things, but not others. If there's not, I'll go get a strange ambassador.
Okay, time for a transition. Then there's this thing, the Electro Sapper. In case you don't know what it does, you simply place it on engineer buildings, which disables them and eats away at their health unless an engineer removes it by hitting it twice with his wrench. And just make sure you're disguised before sapping a sentry, or else, you know, it'll shoot you, your guts will be splattered, your pancreas will be on the ground, you'll be nothing but a puddle of red. You will never be seen again.
I love this bit.
Everyone who sees will be traumatized by this event. If they weren't already insane. Where am I going with this? The Sapper is your main tool to sabotage and take out engineer nests, since you're the only class that can stand next to a sentry without being shot.
Dude, like, I've already had to deal with some nests. Like, I'll go to like a random 2-fort lobby and quick play, and like sometimes they'll just set up an entire nest in the sewer, and I'm just like, wow. It's actually why I default to the Beggar's Bazooka so much, because I've done some dirty stuff with the Beggar's Bazooka to nests. Load 3 burr. But it actually makes sense on, like, the Spy would actually be a perfect tool to actually counter some of these nests.
There's a lot of mind games involved with taking out an engineer's nest, depending on the skill of the engineer in question, but a good first trick to learn is the stab and sap. Wait for the engineer to stand behind a sentry.
Right.
Stab him and quickly swap to your sapper and place it on the sentry before it can turn around and shoot you.
Right.
If you did this correctly, the sentry will be doomed without an engineer to remove the sapper, and you're free to place sappers on the rest of the buildings.
We're just talking about action economy here. Like, you'll hear it sometimes with like D&D and Pathfinder action economy. You're doing the most amount of work and the least amount of moves. Backstabbing, swap to sap and immediately and then press it, right, is a lot easier than trying to maybe set up a shot, which inherently is going to be involving movement as well as aiming. You're going to... It's action economy. It makes sense. I could try to do some long, convoluted explanation, but I think we all know what we're talking about here.
Some strategies may involve sapping the sentry first, since the sentry can't shoot when it's sapped, then trying to kill or delay the engineer,
Sure.
or simply using it to create an opening for your teammates while the sentry is non-functional.
Okay.
You'll have to be creative, sometimes, to take out an engineer nest. Also, you can take enemy teleporters, which can sometimes help you get closer to the engineer. So anyway, if you're bad at Spy, don't worry, it takes time and can be frustrating, but it's a matter of patience. Your knife is how you get instant kills, your gun is your backup option if you can't backstab, use cloak to get behind the enemy, use disguises to blend in and get close to sentries, and use your sapper to dismantle engineer buildings.
Now I know what to do.
Look at you, new player. Go out there and stab some people. Maybe shoot them with a gun and potentially give them a mental breakdown. Or have a mental breakdown as you try to learn the class.
Yep.
What?
You'll be fine.
It's gonna be me. That's gonna be me learning Spy. I don't know. I'll probably have entire community streams where I do nothing but Spy. I've been honestly debating on it because the best way to learn... I feel like the best way to learn Spy is to actively learn it while the enemy team is expecting you, because it forces you to play better, right? And as well as obviously just playing with, you know, higher skilled individuals as well. Like, as much as I can get my my butt kicked, I do love playing with players who are strictly better than me in any game, right? It's how I get better at games like Space Marine 2. It's how I get better at games like Destiny 2, right? How I can like duo well, I don't know, I'd have to figure out what after Edge of Fate launched, but prior to it, right, I could duo Planets and Ruder Nightmares. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I'm very much obsessed with trying to learn things, and I think that comes through in my reactions, because I don't know things and I like learning things. And the way that Spy is going to, because chat mentions, you know, not being able to really think on your feet in terms of these different interactions, the way that you do that is to train yourself so it's second nature, right? To train yourself in a way where you know that the engineer has its back turned to you, so you're going to stab the engineer and then immediately sap it. But if the engineer is maybe looking at you but doesn't see you as a threat, maybe that's when you go and sap the turret first, or sorry, sap the sentry first, and then you shoot the engineer, right? So I like that there's lines of play here. This is one of those that I actually nerf myself even further, because not only do people know I'm coming, because I literally, you know, stream the game on the Purple app, right? Not only do they know that I'm coming and they know that I'm playing Spy, but it also forces me to play correctly and move appropriately. But I honestly really love it. Practical application, yeah, like theory is easy on this, but it's the practical application that I feel rewards just hundreds, if not thousands of hours of play and just gaining that experience and dying a lot. But I love it. I'm going to go play Spy a lot more. I'm going to go have to find my Australian ambassador. I have to see if there's a big earner. I think I got a strange big earner recently. But thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. I enjoyed this. I can't wait to see what other advice this series has to impart. And definitely go check out the original video, especially if you have not. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.